You know the one, that simple five-letter word game that just absolutely took over the internet, turning millions of us into puzzle solvers every single day. We are, of course, talking about Wordle. And today, we're not just going to play it, we are going to master it.
Okay, so you've seen them, right? Those little grids of green, yellow, and gray squares popping up all over your social feeds. You've heard the hype, but how do you actually conquer the game behind them? Well, we're about to break down the exact strategies that'll take you from being a casual guesser to a legit Wordle pro.
But before we get into the how, let's talk about the why. Seriously, what is it about this game? How did something so unbelievably simple get so popular, so, well, addictive? What's the secret ingredient here that keeps millions of us coming back for just one word every single day?
Well, it turns out it's not just one thing. The answer is this perfect storm of three key ingredients. It's simple to learn, it's a real daily challenge, and, maybe most importantly, it's incredibly social.
Yeah, when you look at it this way, the magic of Wordle makes total sense. The rules? So easy that pretty much anyone can jump right in. But actually guessing the word? That takes some real strategic thinking. And then you've got the sharing element, which creates this awesome little community and, let's be honest, a little bit of friendly competition. All right, so now that we know why it's so popular, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to play. Whether you're totally new to this, or maybe you just want a quick refresher, this is for you.
The goal could not be simpler. You have one job: find the secret five-letter word of the day. That's it. But here's the catch. You only get 6 tries to figure it out.
And the whole game is just this simple little loop. You type in a word, you hit enter, and the game gives you clues. But here's where the real skill comes in. It's not about just guessing random words. It's all about using those clues to make your next guess way, way smarter.
So those colors? They're basically the language of Wordle. You have to understand them. Green means you nailed it. Right letter, right spot. Yellow is your big clue. You've got the right letter, but it's in the wrong place. And gray? Honestly, gray is your best friend, because it tells you which letters to just forget about completely.
Okay, let's walk through a real example. Imagine you guess the word house. Bam! The E turns yellow, so we know there's an E somewhere, just not at the end. The O turns green. Perfect, we've locked in that the second letter is O. And H, U, and S are all gray, which means we can cross them off our mental list for good. I mean, think about it. That's a ton of information from just one guess.
All right, now we're getting to the big one. The single most controversial, most debated part of the entire Wordle universe, your very first word. This single move can literally make or break your entire game.
Okay, here's how you need to think about it. Your first guess isn't really about winning. It's a recon mission. Your goal is to gather as much intel as you possibly can, find out what letters are in, what letters are out, so that all of your next guesses are super targeted and way easier. So there are basically 3 main schools of thought on this. First, you've got the vowel heavy hitters, like audio or arise, to find those vowels ASAP. Then you've got the consonant crew, using words like train or stern to check for the most common consonants. And finally, there's a statistical approach, using words like slate, which are mathematically designed with common letters to give you the best shot at an early hit.
Okay, so your first word is down. You've got some colors on the board. Now what? Well, this is where you put on your detective hat and start piecing it all together. First rule is simple. Green letters are sacred. They are locked in. Think of them as your anchors. Every single guess you make from now on has to have that letter in that exact spot. No exceptions.
Now, the yellow letters, those are your puzzle pieces. You know they fit somewhere on the board, just not where you tried them. So your job is to move them around, test out new positions until they click right into place. And please, please do not underestimate the power of the gray letters. They are so helpful. Every letter that turns gray is a letter you can completely ignore from that point on. It's the process of elimination, and it dramatically shrinks the list of possible answers.
Okay, here's a pro tip, something that trips up even seasoned players. Double letters. The game won't tell you if a letter shows up twice, so if you're feeling stuck and you've eliminated a bunch of options, start thinking about words with repeats like swell or bell. It might just be the key that unlocks the whole thing.
And then you solve it. Congratulations! But wait, the Wordle experience isn't over. In fact, what comes next is the very reason this game became a global phenomenon. I mean, social media experts all say the same thing. The secret to Wordle's viral success wasn't just the game itself, it was the sharing. That simple act took it from a private little puzzle to this massive shared journey.
And the way it lets you share is just genius. That little grid of colored squares, it tells the whole story of your game. Every guess, every struggle, every aha moment, but it does it all without spoiling the actual word for anyone else. It's the perfect little conversation starter. And that social part just adds this whole other layer, doesn't it? It becomes all about keeping that daily streak alive, having some friendly competition with your friends or family, and even jumping into online communities to swap strategies and celebrate your wins.
So, there you have it. From understanding why the game is so appealing, to the basic rules, to picking that all-important first word, and really decoding those color clues, you now have the complete toolkit to go out there and conquer the daily puzzle.
Which really only leaves one question left, but it's a big one. Now that you've got all the strategies, I have to ask, what's your go-to starting word going to be?